Are we live yet?
You scared her off.
We're live, man. Amber is in the chat room. Tina left us after I asked where she was. She has a high-profile job. She's not allowed to tell people where she is.
She's got to go find out where she is, and then she can let us know what she would say.
Patrick is on. He's in the chat room. Hi, Patrick. Otherwise known as Weed Bay Guy. It's our last episode, man.
I know.
Unless we just really want to interview somebody, which we might.
You guys didn't have a fancy graphic for this one yet, did you?
What, you mean for the show?
Yeah, like the episode 14 thing. Maybe not.
It's right there. See it?
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess you didn't post like a link with it, I don't think. Like to the site.
Did I not? It's on Twitter.
Oh, well, I don't do Twitter, you know that.
Oh, I forgot. You're a millennial who isn't a millennial.
Yeah, I'm like a baby boomer millennial.
You're like, I'm still on I don't even know, some old ones. Or else you've moved on and you're on well, I don't even know new ones.
Yeah, so no, I'm the last to get on like any social media phenomenon. Like when I was getting on Facebook, it was like kind of starting to phase out a little bit.
Oh. Well, maybe I should go to our group and post that we're about to be on, since you didn't know.
Yeah, if I need to know if something's still in, I just ask my girls. They'll let me know.
Don't ask me.
Don't ask Ryan.
It's like Davis, we're going to Poke Walk. No,
Mike is there.
Now.
Yeah, Pokemon Go. It made them a couple $1 billion, and now they don't care anymore.
No.
Right? I mean,
they're still doing updates, but it's nothing really.
Is this the group or the page? Crud. That's the page. Hey, David, did you? I don't want to say the name because we're live. Oops.
You want to message me?
Did you take anybody off the group today? Did you take anybody out of the group?
No.
Okay. They took themselves out then.
Oh. I didn't even convert my notes to the laptop. I just still got them written here.
All right.
I wrote less notes for a 2-hour episode than I did for a 1-hour episode.
Well, it moved so fast that,
It really did.
Yeah.
But it's neat because we didn't need the confessionals because they talked out in the open. So.
Yeah. I didn't have time for them anyway. 2 more minutes, guys. Then we'll be live. Well, we're already live, but you know what I mean.
We're live.
Yeah. All right. Sponsor. That going. I hate it when it does that.
Wait, Patrick says if David didn't win, it's not a real season. Next, Sandra wins.
Oh man, I can't wait to talk about what would have happened if if Hannah had won that last immunity. That would have been awesome.
Wouldn't it have been the same outcome?
I think it would have had the same result.
Oh, well, yeah, that's right. Sorry. While I was watching it, I was thinking she needs to win so that, well, anyway, I don't want to talk about it now that I feel like an idiot. Thanks.
No, the only thing about the event was somebody didn't need to win. That's what they needed. Just one person.
Yeah. It's so funny. It was so.
Did you watch the same finale?
Shut up. It was late. Mike will be glad to answer any questions about the live finale reunion you might have.
Oh, you're on fire tonight.
Hey guys, I loved your picks. Thanks. I haven't seen Mike's picks.
Also, you lied whenever you said you got the final 3 prediction, right?
Oh, I know.
Okay.
I know.
I don't know, but
let's see.
Who got the final 3 right?
Well, we'll talk about that. I have it written right here.
Did you really?
Well, yeah.
I just paid no attention to what you said. I just listened.
Oh, shut up. None of us were close. David had nobody. Oh no, he had one.
No, sorry. I just had Adam and David. So.
Yeah. Oh, well, you and I had 2 and David had 1. So
I was still on the J bandwagon.
You and I are better than David.
Yep.
All right.
Let's check those fantasy results, will we?
Let's move on. All right, here we go, guys.
It's Aubrey Bracco from Survivor Co. Wrong. Start your wagon wheels and get rolling because it's time to hit the Survivor Trail with Dwaine and Dave on Survivor Talk with D&D. Cock your wagon and float on through. It's sure to be a fun ride. Just be sure not to get dysentery and die.
Hey, welcome to the show. We're just 2 best friends talking about the show we love, Survivor. My name is Dwaine, and I'm here with my aforementioned best friend, David. David, it's over. How are you doing?
I'm tired. We had the Living Nativity drive-through at our church this week, and I was there till almost 9:30. So
wait, so Jesus actually came to your nativity?
He was there.
He didn't come to
ours.
He's
been there all week. He's been there all week, and he'll be there till Saturday.
That's nice. People come into our home, and we have lots of nativity scenes around, probably 3. That's a lot to me. But baby Jesus isn't in the nativity because why?
Because it's not Christmas
It's
Day.
not Christmas Day. So people come in like, well, you're missing your baby Jesus. So chill out here yet, buddy. All right. Well, I'm glad you're doing well. Tonight, we are talking about the finale of Survivor, Millennials versus Gen X. And we are going to read, listen to, and discuss your thoughts on the show as well. Also, iTunes review. We have a new one, D&D challenge. Well, we won't do that. And of course, we're giving away our final official Survivor buff, courtesy of the fine folks over at buffusa.com. We have a guest tonight. We had so much fun with him on our D&D extra video that everyone can see. You can get a link to it at the end of our last episode. It's Ryan Kaiser. How are you doing, Ryan?
I'm great. Glad to be back.
Yeah. Good to have you back. Ryan, what happened to your hair?
I just shaved the sides and
It's like before the show I said Ryan's growing corn and you said, yeah, I got a haircut. And I thought, but it's long. So it was longer than that.
No. Well, no, it was. Yeah. The sides are gone now.
Okay. You shaved the sides.
He looks like he went to Ponderosa and got the tailor cut.
That's right. That's what happened.
That's what I was going for. Yeah.
You and Michelle been hanging out. You and Michelle been hanging out, man. Speaking of Michelle, what in the heck was she wearing?
That was a dragon.
Nice.
A dragon boa or something like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's good to have you on. We had our final 3 predictions on our D&D extra, and let's see. David had picked Hannah. Ding, ding, ding. He was right. Mm-hmm. Sunday, and Jay. Mm-hmm. Ryan had picked David, Ken, and Hannah. Good job. Still can't believe Ken was there. And I had David, Sunday, and Hannah. So we all had at least 1 in there.
I think I was closest.
Oh, come on. You can't be closer. You had 2 out of 3, just like me. You're not any closer.
Yeah, but you had Sunday. She got 7th. I mean, I had David who got 4th.
Oh, gosh.
Man.
Whatever. Whether it's your first time or you've been here all along, welcome to our show. We're glad that you watch, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. It's going to be a fun one. Visit our website, survivortalkwithdnd.com or stwdd.com for all of our shows, all the way back to One World. Blogs, Ryan writes on our website. Links to our Facebook group, Twitter, D&D store. Support us. If you want to support our show, Patreon, Amazon, or PayPal, one-time gift, all those links are there as well. stwdd.com or just Google Survivor Talk or D&D. Some people get to us by doing D&D. I think they're looking for the game, but hey, however they get to us. In fact, our iTunes review.
That's why our podcast numbers are up so high.
That's actually a really good podcast.
Yeah.
We're a D&D podcast.
Yeah. Well, they got to actually click the download button to get on the download figures. That's not website visits. So Anyway, I have a special announcement to make. 2 announcements before we start our recap. This Sunday, David and I are going to try something. It's an experiment. We have no idea how this is going to go, do we, David?
No. Not even sure we can do it at Sunday, but we'll try.
Yeah, well, we're not doing it live, so we're going to do it. We are going to turn on our microphones and do what we both hate, and that's talk through an entire movie. All right. Although, if we were together, we might on National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and we're going to talk about it, laugh about it. Oh, I love this part coming up, or, stuff like that. And then we're going to release the audio of it for a movie talk with D&D. It sounds fun to me.
We'll see.
David's still a little unsure, but we're not doing video, so he's all in.
That's right.
Oh, man. All right. Between our recap and feedback, we will be announcing which survivor from this current season that just ended will be carrying on the Survivor Talk with D&D Survivor Intro legacy. Who will be carrying that on? We will tell you right after our recap. All right, guys. Did you like the episode?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I think as far as finales go, it was one that I didn't think it would go the way it did. So kept me excited and anxious and on the edge of my seat.
Yeah. How about you, David?
I remember saying in the beginning, I think you and I both liked Adam a lot, and we would have liked to have seen him win. We just didn't know if he would get there. Didn't quite think he would get there. But I'll be honest, what surprised me almost totally was the 10-0 vote until I thought about it. I really enjoyed it. I think I judged an episode or a season by who I'd like to see come back. And there's several people in this group I'd like to see have a second chance. But I really liked it. And I love except being rushed, like Ryan and I were saying at the beginning when we started, it was super rushed. But also, everything was played out in front of everybody. It's not like they were hiding their thoughts. And it was very honest about that. And that's something that Ryan and I think you relate in Durham, where it's so fast. Everybody's friendly. This group, I mean, how can you not like Jay any more than you already like him?
Oh, I know.
And you like him more.
I know.
And he walks out saying, you guys are awesome. I hate you, but you're awesome. And that's what you want to see in these games. You don't want to see hateful spite. And it was such a good feel. Oh my goodness. Get me to the reunion. You can't find any tissue left in his house. But otherwise, I thought it was a great night. I loved it. It was a great reunion. Yeah. I loved it. Everything stayed on stage. So that was a good.
We didn't have any unnecessary celebrities running up on stage, which was nice and stuff like that. No, but one thing I really liked about this episode was how honest Adam and David, well, Adam was at first. David was still kind of trying to play it, but they were just so honest with each other. You know, no, I'm not going to the end with you. There's no way. Are you?
Well, I think they knew. I mean, there was just no point to lie. So at that point, I mean, you're just pissing someone off just because. I mean, and then they both know even that they were lying. They were, they know that they were lying. So it just was. So.
It was interesting because when we got to the final, I guess it was the final 4. David finally embraced the fact publicly. It's like he was trying to shy away from it, but finally publicly he was saying, "Yeah, I am playing better than anybody else. In fact, I'm playing this much higher."
Yeah, I thought he was.
I almost thought he maybe knew that he was going home. Like maybe Ken and Hannah both told him and explained what they were doing.
Oh yeah, that would not surprise me with Ken.
Well, I mean, because really, if you know that you have to downplay the level of a threat you are, you're not going to make those kind of comments or gestures. True. Counsel to where I think he knew and probably was just playing it up because he knew that he was done and was having fun with it.
Yeah. In fact, I mean, think about it. Ken, he's going to tell him.
Right.
He's going to tell him. So,
yeah.
But yeah, because when I was watching that, I was like, whoa, David, you're moving his hand up and stuff, you know? So,
yeah, I think.
But I was beyond surprised that Ken, I told my wife that's the first gameplay he's done all season, I think.
And I think, but unfortunately, I think Brett pointed out, I think the jury did a good job in letting us know how they felt. before the vote, because going into the final tribal, and I know I'm skipping ahead a little bit, spoiler alert, going into the final tribal, I figured it was Adams to win. I really wanted to hear what Ken and Hannah were going to say. Ken's been quiet and almost subdued, but he wasn't at tribal. And then Hannah, I thought Hannah started off really well, and then at parts it kind of turned into a Trump and Hillary debate. And I was like, "Oh, come on, don't interrupt each other."
It was interesting because I actually thought that Ken and Hannah did really well at the end there. I mean, I don't really know. I would maybe even say they were at least on par with Adam, and their answers. I mean, Adam probably had like a better game that his answers backed up, but as far as saying what they need to say, I think Hannah and Ken did a good job at that. About
halfway through final tribal, I had votes going to all three of them. I really thought they were earning points with some of the jury. Now, I really felt like the jury had already decided, which is kind of traditional in some sense that the jury already knows who they're voting for. But I really thought Hannah and Ken, I agree that they were doing well. But one thing I saw on the rewatch more that I thought I saw in the first time was this was not the same Adam that got caught in that conversation with Taylor weeks ago, where he was trying to defend himself. This Adam was a little more calm. He was a little more defensive, but had better ammo to support himself with. Hannah was the one that was getting a little bit louder and getting more defensive. Unfortunately for her, she was right. What she was bringing up was a good point. It was her moves. It was some of her calls. She was trying to counter what he said, but Adam was the one that was more calm and subdued and in the little debate going back and forth.
Yeah, I was really enjoying watching Hannah at that final tribal council. I mean, she really took it to heart. I can win this game. This is how I played. It's unfortunate that other people didn't see it that way. And then, of course, it's like someone wrote on Twitter today something about once Ken mentioned his daughter and Adam mentioned his mom, Hannah just kind of looked over at him like, okay, well, I've lost. I mean, so
I think Hannah, I hate to say this, but I think Hannah lost in the first couple of weeks when they saw this girl nearly pass out from watching the challenge, from being kind of weak and stuff. And Probst kept reminding us of that. You took forever in that first voting booth, and now you've come this far and you almost passed out watching a challenge. And I wonder if she was labeled at that point, like she talked about being a stereotype in her little confessional speech about how she's overcome so much and pushed through so much. I feel like she was marked with that stereotype from the beginning, and I don't think people saw her as a contender or as a real player until she finally got to speak at the end at final tribal. She really made a case for all the stuff she'd been doing and that nobody's really noticed.
Well, then how would that would you say that same thing about David?
Well, I was just going to say, yeah, I don't think for the audience I would agree with that, but as far as the players in the game, I'm not really sure if they would say she was so much less of a story of development than David was.
See, I thought David did more. David played idols. He spoke up more and said more things, got more people round up and made bigger moves. Like she said, her moves weren't flashy, but she did have a lot of control after the merge on certain votes.
Yeah.
In certain plays. I've gotten here. I went ahead and did this at work today. She went to
during lunch. During lunch.
Yes. Hannah went to 11 tribal councils and voted right on all but one. Like she said, the Michaela Blindside was the only one she missed the vote on. The one where Taylor went, she voted for Jay, but that was a split plan vote. So I give her credit for that. So she got every tribal council but one. She voted somebody out.
Right.
I think that does say a lot, but it also says that, I don't think she was strictly a follower, but I think you could easily do had the same voting record and just kind of go with whatever side the majority is going with every time and still have that same success rate.
Well, you could, but she wasn't.
Right.
I agree with that. I'm just saying, in theory, you could have the same and be less of a player.
Yeah, but I agree. I think she was more involved, which is what I think she was robbed of kind of going into the end of the season. On the other hand, Adam went to 11 and voted right 9 times. He missed on the Mari vote because he wasn't in that group. And then, of course, he missed on the Brett vote because he voted for David. Then there's Ken, who went to 13 tribal councils and voted out the right person 12 times.
Oh.
So he actually did 12 of 13. The only one he missed was he voted for Jessica, and she was saved by an idol. So he was practically 13 for 13.
Yeah,
that's how in Ken was.
Well,
which
he was
had
with
a lot
David.
to do, I think, with David. Right. He was
basically whatever David did, Ken did.
Right.
They were one. So really, going back to what you were saying earlier about Hannah, it's a double-edged sword, because if you make good moves, but you're too much behind the scenes that no one sees it, then it doesn't really benefit you. But if you make good moves and you're too out there, then you get voted out too early, like David did.
Yeah, and I think that's what Adam played better of. People who made the end was being that middleman, like being recognized for playing a strong game, but not the strongest, where you get voted out for it.
Right.
See, I wonder if what could have hurt her was not that she voted David out too late, but that she knew she wouldn't get credit for David's vote out when it happened, if they did it when Adam wanted to do it. She seemed to have these names lined up that she wanted to go, and she did pretty much pick them as they went. But if David had gone when Adam wanted him to go, Adam could have used that as his vote out. And then, like she said, she would have lost Ken. It would have been more of a struggle in the next vote. They could have gone against her.
Right.
But so I understand her plan. She should get a lot more credit for the votes that she may not have gotten credit for. I thought she played a really good game, and I thought she had a good tribal council to some degree. I really enjoyed that.
I think if it was based purely on the tribal council performance, I probably would have voted for Hannah. I think she had the strongest show there. And Adam was good too, but I think strictly based on that showing, I would vote for Hannah.
Well, speaking of that, does anybody know, have you heard, anybody in the chat room also, did Jay go into Ponderosa and tell them Adam's story? Did they already know his story?
It didn't sound like it. I mean, Jay made it sound like
I didn't see any major reactions. I didn't see any big reactions.
I'm wondering if Jay, because Jay knew, so I'm wondering if Jay...
Maybe, but I mean, even so, I don't think that really affected the outcome. I mean, it may have, maybe someone who was like teetering one way or the other ended up going with Adam because of that. But I think if you kind of watch, like, let me just going back and watching the show, there's a lot of just not many fans of Hannah or Ken, where I think Adam winning was a given, just by how much, and whether or not that story came into play, I don't think it really made a huge impact.
Okay. Chat room is saying that if he did do it, Ponderosa didn't show it. And so apparently Jay did not do that.
Maybe we can find out postseason if we get to talk to one or two people. Well, maybe ask these questions, because I'd like to know if there was a consensus at Ponderosa. I don't think anybody changed their vote because of what Adam talked about with his mom at the end.
No,
I think the consensus was already there.
I agree.
See, that's the problem with playing so under the radar, so behind the scenes. You can't be the leader that lets everybody do something so much that they don't see you, because they've already made their decision when they get to final tribal council. I mean, more than likely, they've already made that decision, and you're not going to change their perception of you at tribal council. So you've got to put yourself out there some. I think that's what hurt Hannah. So
yeah, if the first time people hear about your game is day 39, then you're not going to win.
Right.
Yeah.
And I like Adam's point about Adam continued to put other people as stronger threats than himself.
Yeah.
Playing, because it was said, we've talked about it almost every week. As soon as you do something big, your name's coming up next. Whether you go or not, your name's coming up. And Adam's name never came up until the final episode or two. When David's like, everybody's gone and Adam's still here. Okay, we got to get rid of Adam, before Brad even. And Adam did a great job of that, of voting with the right way, but keeping his name not quite on, keeping people around. So I thought he did really well.
And I think I said last week too, where I thought Adam was doing a great job of like voting out people, but then also whoever was like not included in the vote, Adam was still kind of working with and formulating like plan Bs essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do y'all think of Hannah's decision to not vote out David, but to vote out Brett? Was it too risky, or was her explanation satisfactory for
No,
you?
I think her defense of it was perfect. I mean, it made sense. And knowing Ken the way we do, I think he would have reacted exactly the way she thought he would.
David?
Absolutely agree.
Yeah,
absolutely agree.
Yeah.
I think, because if you lose Ken, then Ken goes to Brett and says, tell me how to vote. Goes to Adam and says, tell me how to vote. We'll vote Hannah. Let's get rid of her because she turned on David. Yep, I agree.
Because at that point, Ken has nothing to lose or no like honor to uphold. He's pretty much like, well, it can go again with Adam or Brett or, Hannah and whoever. It's just my lowest vote out Hannah.
Now the reasoning behind voting out David is what I've been enjoying about this season is that they see these targets and they want to get rid of them now. Don't let them stay any longer. So I understood Adam's urgency to get rid of David, but I also understood Hannah's plan to keep her, which actually shows that Hannah was in a little more control, I think, at that point in the game than Adam was.
Yeah.
So I have no problem with Adam winning. I think he's a very good winner. He played really hard. I just think Hannah didn't get all the credit she deserved for playing a really good season.
Yeah, and they must not have shown us all of it because, of course, Ken says it was his own decision. But I saw Hannah with Ken a whole lot more than I saw Adam with Ken. And that Chris gave Adam all the credit for.
Yeah, I mean, one of those things that we'll really never know 100%. But
the way they rolled it, they edited it was with the eye rolls and the Chris sitting down like, yeah, whatever you say, I've already got the answers I need. So
yeah,
Adam gets credit for it. Adam did a smart thing. If the edit was right, thank you.
By the way, Ken's answer to the question of you're all Mr. Loyal, why did you break your alliance? I mean, Jessica's question was perfect.
That I think was the best answer of the
Oh
night.
my goodness. What a great answer. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, Ken looked at David and said, David, you were always my second strongest alliance. My first one is my daughter. Well, you can't argue with that,
Yep, absolutely.
So
I got bombarded with texts today. It seems like they grew through the season. I think since people that listen to our podcast, well, a bunch of different people between
I don't get any
friends
texts.
and survivors and work people. I think somebody listens to our podcast because they said, "Oh, I'm going to start texting you," and they started texting me, but the texts were split like a poll about
find out who
won, who should have won, and there was a lot of support for Ken, and it's neat because one former survivor said he earned it, he won his way to the end, he physically dominated, and I'm like, but this is what we saw, and this is how we took it. But it has nothing to do with the millions of fans that watch. It's not who we think should win. It's those 10 people over there. And if you spoke down to those 10 people, if you didn't treat them like you cared about them, if you just went out and caught fish and built the fire and cooked the food and took care of the shelter, slept, went out, caught fish, built the fire, you're not making any friends. And you're not going to, get the votes at the end. No matter how good you did in challenges, these were smart jury members, in my opinion. These were fans. They really wanted to vote for someone they thought played the best game. Right. And I think, like you said, Hannah's game was so under the radar. She didn't get the reward she deserves, whereas Adam played a little more out there, and he had more blunders. He admits he had more, but he overcame those, which is what she was talking about, how you deal with your blunders versus your victories. And he said, I overcame them. I had to. I'm still in the game. So I think it has to do a lot with social game. Ken even says he doesn't have a social game, but this helped him some. But I think Brett summed it up in saying, when did you think you started playing? Because we don't think you've even started playing yet until you voted out David. And that's against everything you've been doing since you've been here.
Right.
Ken almost reminds me of Matt from Survivor Amazon, who I think the audience liked. He was good at challenges. And when he lost, it was kind of like, how did he lose? Like, we all, he seemed really likable, but the jury just, had no social game, and that's why he lost, and that's why I think Ken lost. Even though he's a really good guy, we like him. I don't think the jury respected the game that he played.
Yeah,
that's a really good comparison. Matt Verhoeven or something like that. He had the machete for the last few days that he carried around. I think Jen was getting worried, but yeah, that's a good comparison about the social game. I mean, if you got to have that. So, I mean, he talks about playing old school. He believes in working hard and doing this and doing that and being loyal. Well, that's part of the evolution of Survivor. It's a lot to do with social game. Much more social game to me than a physical or game.
I think it always has been. I mean, that's my opinion, but it's the people relationships that get you the win versus
absolutely
how many immunities you win, or
right.
I mean, strategically and socially is how you win the game.
Yeah. Boy, Probst is really pushing the whole in our next phase of Survivor, as we evolve. I mean, he's not thinking they're going to be done anytime soon.
Well, I think that's also marketing, as in the game is changing. It's going to feel like a new game every time you watch a new season.
Yeah, like going up on season 34, you got to make it sound, changing and fresh.
This is going to be like a whole new season. Yeah. Things you've never seen before. People coming in from the left instead of the right, so.
Yeah. So I'm interested in talking about that immunity challenge, the last one. I was a little disappointed they put a time limit on it. I think I would have enjoyed it more if they hadn't put a time limit on it. And just, can you get it up to 13?
Yeah, I was like messaging throughout the show to a couple people, and I even said, like, this is the last challenge. Like, just let it go until it's one versus just two. I mean, because I think it would be, as much as like the strategy may have worked out for Adam, just like going to 10, just holding, like kind of a lame way to win the last challenge versus someone who just, completes the challenge and actually wins it.
I wonder if they did that.
Ken has too much Ken has too much integrity. He's not going to stop and let the win the challenge for him. Whereas Adam, I don't blame Adam for what he did, because I think he was struggling. I liked his playing. In fact, what Adam was doing to me was kind of like drawing rocks, because he didn't know if he might be going home as well. Kind of giving up, letting somebody have an advantage in that challenge is kind of like drawing rocks on your own name, because if you don't have the immunity idol, your head's on the chopping block. But I liked his strategy, because I think he knew that if he went with too many more cups, it was going to fall.
Yeah, but okay, so if you're saying that Ken has too much integrity to play, it sounds like you're saying to play the way Adam did, as though Adam didn't have integrity.
No, I'm just saying Adam's more savvy. Ken has more integrity of that's not how men would play. And Adam's like, well, that's how survivors win.
Yeah, it's more cunning.
He's more cunning.
All right.
That's why he got 10 votes.
Because to me, it's kind of like Adam's like the team that's up by 6 in a basketball game. And so you force the other team to play, or they're not going to lose because you're just going to stand back there and dribble, No,
I took it as Adam felt like, if I put any more up there right now, it's going to fall. But you know what? They keep stacking and theirs keep falling. I'm hoping that 30 minutes comes up really fast and I can win just by one, Yeah. So,
okay. Well,
agreed, though. I was not happy that was the last challenge.
I think it was because it was windy, and they probably made that decision because it was windy and they didn't think it was going to be able to stack that high.
Maybe.
Probably nobody on the dream team could get 13.
Yeah, that's actually probably what happened. Yeah, but 30 minutes, okay.
Yeah, I know like nowadays it's not as exciting TV. It had the last challenge be just like endurance, but I really do miss the days where that was it. Just who's got the will.
I wonder if it's a time. I don't remember Borneo exactly when it started, but standing and holding on to that pole seemed like it took forever.
That. Yeah,
I did
let's
too.
do some of
Started
that
the day before. I'm sure it's a time thing. Hey, this challenge has got to be over in about 2.5 hours. So come up with something that's got to be done in 2.5 hours. So.
Yeah. Plus, it's so equalizing. Can you hold your hand on this for the longest? That's it.
Yeah.
There's no I'm better balancing. none of that. It's
yeah, exactly. So Mike K said, I do not, capital NOT, like challenges where strategy to win is to hold back. Well, Mike, everybody can play that strategy.
Yeah.
So it's not like only one person can do it. I like final challenges where nobody has an advantage, or any challenge where nobody has an advantage. I love that this season. Yeah. Well, even by winning a reward to get an advantage. I love they didn't do that this season.
Yeah. And by the way, Jay played that advantage very well.
Jay did everything well, except he just
really
did, which is why he got kicked out.
Well, that's why he won. Yeah, he just voted out.
Yeah. And can we just all say, David, amazing. You didn't just make a fake idol. You made it and hid it and painted and became part of production. Awesome.
You know what else he did?
Man.
He did what Adam couldn't do. David kept him to himself.
Yes.
Adam told two people about that idol, and it was one too many. He could have knocked out David with that idol and been the belle of the ball going into the final. But he trusted Hannah, who'd flipped on him before, I think, or just not always.
I don't really know why he told her. Because if he has an idol, he doesn't need to tell anybody. He just plays it, and David goes.
Yeah.
But that plays up to Hannah's social game, because watching this finale again today, Hannah had everybody trusting her. David and Ken trusted her. Adam had her in his pocket. He's like, yes, we got Hannah. But Hannah's like, nope, I'm playing both sides, and I kind of give her a lot of credit for that. She had both sides believing she was with them until that one vote where she flips on one. Once that alliance gets broken with the Brett vote, that's when she's showing her colors. And at the same time, the next vote she came back to Adam. So give Hannah some social game credit. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, whenever Connie, before the episode started, I was like, "Hey, Connie, that's David, whatever." And she goes, "Oh, okay. I'm not really enjoying his gameplay this season." And I said, "Well, I've grown to love him. I've grown to really like the way he's playing, how confident he is."
How could you not like David? Come on.
I know. But then when he created the idol and put it in a coconut husk and painted on it, my wife goes, "Okay, I like that guy."
He's got arts and craft skills. I like that guy.
Well, no, it wasn't because of the arts and craft skills.
I know.
But that was, and he kept his mouth shut. He didn't show it on his face. It was bravo.
It's brilliant because you know what it does? It gets Jay back at camp, but he's not looking for idols anymore.
That's all. That's right.
Exactly. So I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. That's what Probst wants. You got to dig deep and bury that fake idol.
Yeah.
So that's what he wants to see people do.
Yeah. And who of us would not have looked at having already found an idol in a husk?
That thing was so fake.
I know, but if you find it in a husk.
But the symbol was like a pink square. It wasn't even like.
Oh, Ryan, are you trying to act like you're trying to say you wouldn't have believed it was an idol?
I don't think I would have.
Oh gosh, yes, you would have. Out there. Oh, come on.
My question was there a note with it? Did David save one of his notes and put a note? Because if it doesn't have a note, it's not.
Okay, I thought it was with a note.
Okay. I couldn't tell because the way he did it, I wasn't sure if that was his rag or something from his clothing, but if it was a note, then that was good on David.
Have they ever had a replacement idol be different looking than a prior idol though? That was my question. Like if Jay's had the idol, he knows what it looks like. This one looks kind of like it, but like maybe less professional. So I don't know. I would have at least questioned it.
Well, on day 6, you don't question you question an idol. On day 36, you don't. Just like on day 6, you remember to cover your numbers, and day 36, you don't remember to cover your numbers.
Maybe.
So, no, I definitely would. Yeah, he'd already had one, but he'd only had one, so he doesn't know if it's and he found the Ikabulo idol, right? He found the one at that tribe. So this is actually the merge idol. So it could be different. It could be, doesn't have to be identical.
Yeah. Good stuff. What else you want to talk about it?
Let's see. The legacy advantage. Wasted. Okay.
Okay. No, it wasn't wasted.
But in the right hands.
If Ken had been in trouble, it'd have been a really cool twist. But the guy who didn't need it.
I say wasted. I like it. I like that because it doesn't affect anybody else. It just saves the person who's fortunate to find it or get it left to them. And that's why you play the social game, to get that left to you. So I like the advantage. It just didn't have the greatest effect this season, but I do like the advantage and I hope they use it again.
Yeah, it didn't affect the game, but that wasn't by any fault of Ken.
No.
Or
the production. It was a good idea.
So
no extra vote.
Well, the thing moving forward now is going to be, people who play in the future aren't going to know if that's in play or not. So they can go into final 6 tribal councils, seeing one person wear immunity, but knowing any of the other 4 or 5 could also have that advantage and pull it out.
Right. Well, that'll begin season 35.
Right.
Right. It's like the casual fan. I don't know how they don't realize this, but the casual fan will be like, "Oh, well, will season 34 learn from season 33?"
No. Oh, the casual fans are my favorite.
Oh. Wow. Do you call them muggles or something?
No, I call them filthy casuals.
Oh, man.
I did like in the finale how we got Brett, I thought represented the fans very well. When he said, "Why are you keeping these people around?" His confessionals were constant. "I'm dealing with idiots," or whatever he's calling them, because why would you keep David? Why would you keep Jay? Why are these people still here? You got to vote them out. And at the same time, he wasn't necessarily saying, but I got friends. I don't think Brett would have won. Now, if it was Brett, Hannah, and Sunday, and they didn't respect Hannah and Sunday, he might have won. But I think I wonder what Brett, Ken, and Hannah would have done. I wonder if he could have pulled that out.
I feel like Brett would have won. I mean, like watching Ponderosa, his reception there was really positive, and I just don't think people. He may not have played, maybe Hannah played a stronger game, but I think Brett was well more liked to the point where they couldn't have brought themselves to vote for Hannah or Ken over Brett.
Yeah, the better social game. Whereas Ken, I thought, had zero social game, except with David. And I think once he locked in with David,
social game, I would think I'd just call it like they just at that point between Ken, Hannah, and Brett, they're just like, well, we like Brett more, so we'll vote for Brett.
Yeah. Anything else, guys? Anything else stand out to you in the finale?
Well, you knew that when the edit showed how important it would be to cover your numbers, that somebody wasn't going to cover their numbers.
Right, because they didn't even say that last time they had that challenge.
No.
And how hilarious is, I mean, really, it's quicker just to run through the 6 options. It really doesn't take that long to run through 6 options.
No. Well, I mean, yeah. Well, if you have like a really good memory, you can run over there in 3 seconds and run back, and that's it. But
apparently not.
I want to say if you have a good memory, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Or if you haven't been like starving and sleep deprived for 36 days.
Yeah. So I mean, just go 47, 17, 12, 12, 17. Then
there's only 6 combos. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not hard to do. I've done it at a science museum once. That's how I know. But you move it to 4, and then it becomes really hard.
It's like, there's be like what, 24.
Well, it's harder. It's harder. But anyway, yeah. Do you think that, Jay said $1 million mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he was, I think, I don't know. With only being 6 combinations, how much longer would it have taken David to get through it versus, Jay having a bigger lead? I mean, Jay's puzzle fell apart. I mean,
nice.
I think, that's great. I think based on that, David probably still could have won even 30 seconds behind or a minute slower, whatever it would have been had he not seen Jay's number. So I don't know if it would have made a huge difference, but if Jay had been better on the puzzle, then it would have made a big difference.
Yeah, because Jay's puzzle, I mean, he was working on it, and it was
like hanging on by
it was barely connected at the top.
Any second.
Yeah. Yeah. With that looked like a fun puzzle. I would have been so frustrated at that puzzle. David, you've done a puzzle very similar to that at the Durham Warriors Survival Challenge.
Mm-hmm.
You did very well on that puzzle. Well,
I started first and then realized I was stacking it wrong because the pieces were falling out because of the weight from the bottom pieces. So, but I took second. We didn't get last place. Fortunately, it was elimination anyway. So
I think you let her win because she's pretty.
No, I let her win because she looked at my puzzle. But otherwise, she was smart. She was smart not to look at the wrong pieces because I had 2 pieces wrong because I had them pointing one way. They should have been pointing another way.
How they get you?
That will get me.
Yeah. You didn't see that.
So what did y'all?
Oh, go ahead. Forget it.
I was going to say I was looking through my notes. There's nothing really that jumps out. I mean, it's pretty straightforward getting to final tribal. What did y'all think of the questions?
I will say that I actually literally gasped whenever David was voted out. I still really can't. It really hasn't even really sit in that like David didn't win. I was so sure that he was going to win, and it just seemed like multiple times Ken and Hannah were proving that they were not going to flip on David ever. And I'm like, well, then if they didn't do it, the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, they're not going to do it now. And they did, and I was like, "Holy crap!"
Right, and that's why I so thought it was going to be a tie. I could not believe that it happened, and it makes you think. So Ken thought he could beat Adam, but he didn't think he could beat David.
Well, he thought he had a better shot at Adam. I really wonder if they both thought that they could like beat Adam. Maybe they just thought that David was a for sure loss versus Adam like being amazing.
Right.
Yeah, Gracie gasped when David's name came up the third time. Yeah. She couldn't like me. We couldn't believe it. So that was just a shocker.
And this is why I struggled with taking that post off of our Facebook group, because just because you look at a picture that CBS puts out and it's 2 guys working on a fire doesn't mean there's going to be a fire challenge. It just means there's 2 guys working on a picture. So it was really. But I understand that some people look at the pictures that CBS puts out and really analyze them. And a lot of times those pictures do have have spoilers in them. I remember was it Alicia that had the idol around?
Alicia, yeah.
Yeah, she was holding the idol. So you knew
like on her hip, on her side.
So you knew she was. So, but
yeah, there's been a couple blunders.
So I'm sorry, we're sorry, but we would rather err on the side of caution than not err on the side of caution when it comes to spoilers on our Facebook group. So
wait, what was the photo of? I think I missed that.
It was just a picture. Remember when Adam was working on the fire? He was getting ready in case he had to do a fire challenge or something.
In fact, there were press images showed Adam and Ken working on the fire.
Yeah.
So the thought was that they were going to go to a tiebreaker.
Yeah. So I was
and since we're talking about spoilers, for the record and to be official, we can only talk about the people that we saw in the finale for season 34. Nobody else has been officially released. You can't go by any intro or the video because they showed the video of some people that we just saw play that are not playing next season. We know who the two that are playing next season from this season, but those are the only people we can talk about. We can't talk about anybody else that even is supposed to be playing because we don't go by other sites. We only go by CBS sites.
I think they only officially named one of the people from this season though, right?
Michaela. Right. Michaela.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they did?
It was funny watching Probst make a point.
It was kind of weird. So I'm like, or the other person, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was funny watching Probst make a point. Make sure we talk to Michaela. Because apparently she made a big move.
Game-changing move.
Yeah, a game-changing move.
That's right.
So, but anyway.
The terms used loosely in that season.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah. All right, so yes, our Facebook group and our chat room rules are if CBS has released it, you can talk about it. Although we deleted a post where someone talked about a picture. So that, again, we try to err on the side of caution. So, all right. Anything else stand out for y'all during the recap before we get to our feedback? And before I announce who our season 34 introduction person is?
I thought some of the final tribal questions from the jury were good. They were interesting because we got to hear a lot from Hannah. We heard probably more from Jay in Final Tribal than we did all season. And that's not that he was invisible. It's just that he didn't talk a lot. He talked about
Jay?
I'm sorry, Ken.
I was going to say, I was like, Jay talked all the time.
Yeah, Jay talked all the time. But even their answers as the final I was actually going, my numbers were bouncing around in Final Tribal with Ken and Hannah talking. I was trying to think what the numbers could be. I just didn't see a 10-0 sweep.
Well, it's funny because, like, had you told me a week ago that Adam, Ken, and Hannah were the final three, I'm like, oh, well, Adam wins handily. But going in there, I'm like, I think that Ken and Hannah, by voting out David, I thought at that point, like, wow, they actually stepped up and made that move. This might actually earn them some credit. And I thought, for as much of like kind of back and forth tribal it was, I was still surprised by the 10-0 vote. I get it now in retrospect, but as far as like the battling it out goes, I thought it was pretty well matched.
I'll be interested to see Ponderosa for David if he goes back and wow. He told me he was going to do it. I just didn't think he'd do it because we've been so close all season, and suddenly he does that. And I'll be interested to see the Ponderosa videos if they even show that. They may not release that.
I think. Well, like interaction between David and Ken, or just David's thoughts?
Between David and the jury. Between David and the jury when he gets to Ponderosa.
Oh, I think he really didn't even mention the fact. He like briefly touched on Ken voting him out, and it was kind of just like, he said he was doing it he probably did it for his daughter, so I get that. That was kind of his addressing of that.
Okay.
By the way, Miriam wrote in the chat room, Siri changed the game when she got off the couch, according to Jeff Probst.
Yeah. Well, the sad thing is, I don't think that'll be the biggest stretch they make to pitch somebody this season.
Game changer. She got her butt off the couch.
She almost fell on the stage when she got out there.
Yeah,
I noticed that.
Wow. Miriam says David's Ponderosa was great. Lots of love. The jury was so happy to see him. All love and hugs.
They're all too nice. I need more mean people in Survivor.
I said that and got a bad email.
What? Oh, well, it wasn't for me.
You don't have to always have a villain.
Yeah, you do.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Makes the game more fun. All right. Well, I think I'll think of other stuff maybe while we're reading feedback. Y'all want to go on to the next segment.
Yeah. I got a lot of notes about the tribal, but I mean, it'll probably all come up in the
well, I want to make sure we get to all of the stuff that you want to talk about. You want to go ahead and talk about it?
Well, I think it'll come up in the feedback. I just liked a lot of Adam's answers. He seemed really prepared for a lot of his answers, especially when he talked about how, I think it was to Zeke's question about the evolution or how he played. And he said one thing was that people that get in power feel like they have to maintain power. And that this season made them a target, which was a lot of people on the jury. And Adam's game was, even if he gets the credit for a vote or is in spotlight for a vote, he then backs off and makes sure the target's back on somebody else. And I thought that was a smart strategy, because that was what we heard all season. Like I said earlier, Probst even kept saying, once you do something, you're now a target. And Adam said he felt like that's a mistake that people made, that once they made a big move, they felt like they had to stay in control, like Zeke. Zeke was like constantly, this is my 5. We talked about that, weeks ago. And he was just constantly putting himself as like the leader, whether he thought he was or not.
Yeah. I got 2 things. Number one, this, just like that question alone, just makes it so obvious that CBS monitors their questions and even gives them suggestions, as we know. And I think there's a darn good reason why they asked Zeke to ask that question, but also he wouldn't ask that question. I mean, anyway. Second thing is Survivor Central is in our chat room, and they make a good point about Sandra. Sandra's style of winning irks Jeff so much he can't even say 2-time winner. He said something like she wasn't voted out twice or something.
Yeah, that was pretty shameful.
Yeah, but I loved what Sandra said.
That's just what makes her wins better, is it pisses off Probst so much.
Yeah, it's great. And Sandra's like, there's a reason I'm the queen. I don't remember exactly what she said, but it was great. So
you don't get the crown just because. That's what she said.
Yeah, ain't nobody gonna take it away from me. Can't wait to see her and Tony playing at each other.
It's funny because I want someone else. There's a couple people I would like to see win, but I think I'd really just rather see her win just the third time.
I know.
I would too.
I know. Just
I'm like a big like Sari fan. I'd love to see her finally win, but I'm like, I kind of want to see Sandra win it again, even more than that.
Jeff walks off the stage, throws the mic down, walks off the stage, or since he would already know, refuses to.
Makes him vote again.
What'd you think about
back in to vote again?
Yeah. What'd you think about Adam telling everybody that he told his mom, I won? Do you think Survivor told him?
No, I think he just knew that people didn't like Ken and Hannah, and probably. I'd be surprised if everyone goes home not having any idea who won. I mean, especially with that jury knowing they didn't like Ken and Hannah much. I'm sure Adam probably had a good feeling, and you probably would even get a better feeling going back to the after party, the rap party that night after Final Tribal, and getting the vibe that they like me more than do Ken and Hannah, so I probably won. It
was all the drinks they bought him on the way home from the airport.
That's
I was going to say, when he gets on the plane and all the jury saying, Adam, sit with us, and Ken and Hannah just don't get called back to the back of the plane because you have a good shot.
Or they're all walking by him on the plane going, congratulations. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, but man, I'm telling you, 1 hour after you get home, your mama passes away.
That's right.
That was, you know what? I'm so glad it wasn't the day before or something like that. That would have just.
I haven't heard any exit interviews. I haven't heard any post stuff yet for Adam. Anything he said, and so whether he's talked about how, yes, I was waiting for the right moment to say that. No, it just came up natural. I don't care. If you hark on Adam for bringing that topic up, then you need to go back and hark on Jeremy for bringing up Val being pregnant. I have no qualms about Adam bringing that up at all, because I felt it was probably the most organic thing out there.
Well,
he got asked the question.
He didn't do it in a way where he made a point to say it. It just it came out naturally and, like you said, organically. Or I don't even think he meant for it to be another case form.
And he even avoided it earlier.
Right.
Yeah, because Jay said you don't have to go there, so he didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think it was the top 10 talking about his daughter. I think he just finally wanted to release that.
Right. But it was so true as well. Why is this important to you? Because my mom and I love Survivor, and we almost got on Blood versus Water, and then 7 months ago she got diagnosed. That's completely natural. You asked the question, and it wasn't Jay who asked that last question. It was David. Yeah. And I love David's response. She's watching. She's so proud of you right now, or she's watching. Or whatever it was that he said. It was great. That was just as organic from David. And that's what's so great about this season. That's why I love this season. It's one of my favorite seasons because these people get it. We always talk about people, it's just a game. It's just a game that you're going to be friends after this. All these people, to me, went to Ponderosa as friends. There's a few qualms at Ponderosa, but they all made up. They got over it because they're adults. And even Will, he's an adult. People are friends. And that's why Jay and Adam's relationship was my favorite relationship of the season. Yeah. I just love that and how honest they were with each other. And like Ryan said about David and Adam being honest at the end. And I loved Adam's response to Jay at Tribal. I couldn't. What did he say? I couldn't get past you. I was not going to get past you I wrote it down too, but he just said, you were in my way. You were in my way for me to win, and that couldn't happen. And Jay's respects him even more. If he couldn't respect him enough, he respected him even more. So I can't wait to see Jay play again because who's not going to want to align with Jay? Right. He's probably the most honest and courtesy guy out there. And Zeke said that months ago. Jay is so sociable and so charismatic. And now you see why. We saw that. And Jay's just an awesome person. Yeah.
Mariam says in our chat room that Adam said in an EW interview with Dalton Ross that that CBS was going to let him go home if he didn't make the jury.
Oh, wow. Oh. That's good.
Here's the quote from Mike. My mom did not want to pull me from the game. That was not an option in her mind, but they made the decision that if I was voted out, even if I were on the jury, that I would come home immediately. So the fact that he wasn't home, they knew that he was in final three at least. So,
like Hannah knew after, I think towards the end, like we said, when Canton talked about his daughter, but when David brought up his mom, Hannah kind of knew that she was in trouble of not getting votes. I think at the same time, Adam knew that these people were not liking on Hannah and Ken. And I think he was pretty confident to say that and tell his mom that. And that was just what she needed.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
That he won. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I still think they told him congratulations. Yeah. Maybe. I think the survivors have a way of letting each other know,
Well, how could he not? I mean, just body language being one of the things. I mean, like if they're like, buddy with you, but they're not really buddy with Ken and Hannah, then you probably got their vote.
Yeah. 2 taps on your back, I voted for you. 3 taps, I didn't.
Yeah.
No tap, I didn't. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. Well, we're going to get to some, actually, we're going to make our big announcement right after this.
Have you finished your Christmas shopping? Well, don't be like David and Dwaine and wait till the last minute to get it done. Do it now and use their Amazon link when you do. Not only will you get all your Christmas shopping done, but you'll also be helping support these guys and their great podcasts. So always use stwdd.com/Amazon when you start your shopping. Or make it even easier and just use the link on their website. Now, back to D&D.
So I have a question for you guys. Put my thing back up there. Why did the elf go to school? Got some Christmas jokes for you.
Boy, it should be good.
No idea.
To learn the alphabet. You want to hear another one?
Sure.
Yes, please.
I
don't think we have a choice.
No, you do.
We're going to hear anything.
I will stop whenever you want me to. Why are Christmas trees very bad at knitting?
Too many needles?
Because they always drop their needles. You want to hear another one?
One more.
Okay. How does Rudolph know when Christmas is coming? How does Rudolph know when Christmas is coming?
How does Rudolph know when Christmas is coming, Dwaine?
He looks at his calendar. Oh, that was stupid.
That was the worst one.
You saved that for last?
Wow.
Where do you find these?
Wow. My wife gave them to me for her.
Her first graders probably wrote those.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here's one that is better. Hold on. Why does Santa have 3 gardens? Why does Santa have 3 gardens?
There you go. That's it. David got it.
Because he likes to ho, ho, ho.
So he can ho, ho, ho. Good job. Ladies and gentlemen, back in season 29. Yeah, sorry about that. Back in season 29, it all started with this introduction.
Yo, this is Tony Vlaco's Team TV, baby, the king of Survivor Cagayan Jungle. You're about to listen to two guys who think they have brains, who wish they had my brawn, and are only lucky enough to be married to two beauties. This is Survivor Talk with D&D. Let's give these guys from season 29 a great show. I'll be listening to you guys from my spy shack. I hope everybody enjoys the show. Peace.
So that was our introduction. We just decided, hey, let's ask Tony, the winner, if he'll do our introduction. And he said yes. Were we not surprised, David?
Mm-hmm. No, I wasn't surprised.
Not really, because he texted us during the entire season. It was fun. But he didn't give us any. He didn't tell us anything, though. We've never
tell us
had,
we were stupid.
Yeah. We've never had any.
He was like this.
Go ahead.
He got drafted in the second to last round of our fantasy draft. So that's why I wanted to pick on us.
Yeah. But we've never had any survivors spoil us. So that is always good. Then, by the way, well, I'll play. Remind me to play Spy Shack for you since he's going to be on. We got to play Spy Shack. I love that song. All right.
Like a Love Shack parody?
Ryan's probably never heard it. What?
Like a Love Shack parody or something?
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Tony!
Spy Shack, that's where Tony's at. Spy Shack, that's where Tony's at. Tony is a sneaking, Tony is a listening, wearing next to nothing cause it's hot as a mug. The whole shack shimmies cause Tony is a moving around and around and around and around. Everybody's talking, Tony is a listening, baby. Rob doesn't know.
No, that's just him. He doesn't let me sing in his shack.
Everybody's talking, Tony is a listening, baby. Private little shack. Private little spy shack.
That's the gist of it right there.
Oh, come on.
Oh, you got to play the whole thing?
Play that like on loop throughout your entire show in the background.
Fine. I'll play it as the outro. I'll play it at the end. Bunch of
I knew you would. That's why I was just saying, just play a clip of it right now. Because people are like waiting to hear their feedback.
Well, you know what? This is our show.
No, it's not our show.
Yes, it is. Then the next season, we decided beauty was better than brawn.
This is Kelly Wentworth from Survivor San Juan del Sur, and you're about to listen to one of my favorite sources for all things Survivor. This is Survivor Talk with D&D. So find your flint, grab a bag of rice, and all your fishing gear, and let the bartering begin. Take it away, D&D.
Sound like the Kardashian intro.
That was a good one. That was Kelly Wentworth.
Didn't you skip Mike's?
No, Kelly was the next one. Then we did Mike.
And Mike was after that?
People thought Mike's was too country and western.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Mike Holloway, winner of Survivor Worlds Apart, and you're about to listen to
But he was kind of country, so.
Yeah.
He's dating a Big Brother girl now. Did you know that?
Dating everybody, apparently.
Oh.
Survivor Gossip with Ryan Kaiser.
Yeah. Then we hit the jackpot again with Varner.
I'm a survivor. Yo, it's Varner from Survivor, the Australian Outback in Cambodia. Second chance. You don't have to dig. No climbing, no lying to anybody. You have found Survivor's hidden idol on the internet. And you didn't even need a clue, because they ain't got one. It's Survivor Talk with D&D. Dwaine and David, take it away.
Apparently insulting us during the intro is a fun thing to do.
Well, it's easy also.
Oh, yeah. We're easy since we do it enough.
But this was our favorite one from Varner right here.
I'm a survivor. I'm Jeff Varner from Survivor's Australian Outback in Cambodia. When Abby's acting up, Gandhi is storming off, or Deb is looking for rocks somewhere, you are exactly where you need to be. Oh my God, this is delicious. Who needs food when you've got Dwaine and David? This is Survivor Talk with D&D.
And then, of course, you've heard Aubrey's All Season, which I also loved. This season, are you ready?
Lucy.
All right, who do you think? Oh, Ryan already knows.
No, he just guessed. He said Lucy.
I'm guessing it's Lucy. That's who you guys got.
Because I told Lucy.
Number one get.
Yeah, is there a Lucy on this season? I don't remember. Oh, yeah, early.
She was the star of the season.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. She wrote a book.
Did she?
No, that was Rachel.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, no one even on the chat room is guessing. The answer is David Wright. Surprise, surprise.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. He said, absolutely, I'll do that. And then the very next tweet was, I'm a little paranoid about this, so let me ask CBS if it's okay. If, Anyway, yeah, I'm excited. I'm super excited.
We could probably get multiples because there's a couple people that would probably support us.
Jessica, she'd do it.
Yeah, I know.
Jessica?
David's doing it.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, there you go. David's doing it. All right, what is next? Feedback. Okay, there was the feedback intro. Let's do it. I've been told the feedback intro is too long. And David's been like looking bored out of his mind during this whole segment. So,
I've heard the intros before. So that's okay.
Yeah, well, so has everybody else, but it's fun. You just don't know.
I thought you were just going to play snippets. I didn't know you were going to go on and on and on.
Wah.
The last one of the season, David.
He didn't want to do video either.
What?
Trust me, David. Trust me. I know.
No, I'm just getting you riled up.
Well, it's working. So
now you got to read feedback.
Mike says, I need to get David Wright a D&D t-shirt. And he was wearing a RHAP t-shirt to the finale. Well, you know what? They're out there. He could buy one.
A jerk.
So, really, in all seriousness, I don't care if they wear anybody else's t-shirts. It doesn't bother me. All right. Next is Bobby. Where's Bobby from, David?
I don't think Bobby shared with us. He didn't share with us.
Oh, well, Bobby from Why Didn't You Share It With Us? Here we go. While I wasn't a fan of of Adam. Wow.
That's your line, Dwaine. Like 14 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, I wasn't a fan of Adam. I can tell you he is a very genuine person, and I do congratulate him on the win. In this, quote, evolution of the game, unquote, he did play the best, I guess, even though I'm not really sure what evolution of the game even means. I guess it means being loyal is looked down on. If that's the case, bring me back to the good old days. Because going into the final six, I thought the best player on the beach was Ken. I'm a millennial, but I guess I think like a Gen X. I respect the way Ken played this game, including him voting David out. If I was a juror, he would have gotten my vote. When I think of evolution of the game, I think of, when I was a kid, the Monopoly pieces were all wood and stuff, like the houses were wood and now they're plastic. The evolution of the game isn't always better. All right. Now in football, you can't hurt the quarterback or hurt the kicker. So anyway,
they're fragile.
Yeah. I feel like I'm a burden to David right now. All right, here we go.
It's like a rock in my shoe that I can't get out.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel right now. All right. I feel so bad for Ken at the final. Yeah, he was poor Ken. I mean, it's like, wait a second. That was my choice. So.
Yeah, you don't really see him too often, like go back and forth like that, like fight over, moves that were made or decisions. That was interesting.
Right.
Evolution of the Final Tribal Council.
Yeah, there you go. By the way, I'm very happy with my new mixer. We haven't had any sound problems, have we, David?
Not since I texted you very early, so I haven't heard anything.
Maybe it was Dan.
Maybe so.
Could have been all those postal machines in the background. So
his sound was so crystal clear that it was making yours unclear.
It was breaking glass. It was so clear.
Ryan's like, can you not have me on when the sound's so bad, please?
No, Dan was great.
He was being treated, Ken was being treated so dismissively, particularly from Chris, but also from Brett and Zeke. I found myself getting legitimately angry. It's one thing to not respect someone's strategy, but they didn't even give him credit for playing the game. Ken generally has a good poker face, but you could see how it was slowly hurting him to be treated that way as the tribal went along. I agree. And Ken would say, yeah. And then, and I said it was his first game move. To me, it was his first move. I mean, his way of playing, he was playing the game that he wanted to play, a loyal game. But it was the first decision that he made that felt like, this is better for my game, not for being loyal to another person in the game. So to me,
I think he would argue, and like most players would argue, it's not the first decision I made. I was on every decision to flip somebody, even though somebody brought it to my attention.
Right.
I was on every decision. I was a part of every decision. But yeah, I see what you're saying. I think, to change his game, this was a big decision.
Survivor Central says, my new mixer makes me sound like I have a cold. Is that true?
Not a bad cold.
I'm not really listening.
No, I don't think it does. You're fine.
Is this better? Does this sound better if I do that?
Sounds like you're like in my ear.
Okay, here we go.
The voice of God.
That's what I called it the other day when he played it for me.
I wish people could play the game like Ken and still win this game. But unfortunately, those days are long gone.
Okay, I'll turn that off.
You should use it a lot more.
All right, I'm going to turn down the bass a little bit. So, all right, Hannah got a similar treatment, but to a lesser extent. I thought she explained herself way better. I kind of like it with the echo. Now I miss it.
I do too. Just go to that.
Don't just get through.
I love it. The rock in David's shoe is getting bigger and bigger.
My foot is bleeding on the bottom right now.
Mike says I sound nasally. Crap, y'all. Man.
You do sound a little nasally.
Well, maybe I am sick.
It's because you're sniffing, yeah.
All right. Hannah got a similar treatment, but to a lesser extent. I thought she explained herself way better than the other two did. But I guess this is just more proof that Final Tribal is never live and everyone's minds are already made up.
Not Taylor's. Mine was wide open.
That's right.
I think it was wide open for a different reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does he have a mind? I didn't really.
Yeah, I found some.
That's why it was wide open.
I found some really good plants on the island, and all right. I'm a bit unsatisfied.
I'm still trying to figure out why we're still here. I thought my game was over. So.
I'm a bit.
Try to catch some waves.
I just can't wait to get back to Jessica, even though I have a child on the way back at home. I can't wait to get back to Jessica.
How hard was that Ponderosa to watch when he goes through 5 minutes of this and all of a sudden we get a screen that says, we just gave Taylor the note from Jessica. He's reading the note the next day. I know.
It was fun. I'm going to party. See you later. That's pretty much
the rest of this Ponderosa will be bleeped.
Yeah.
Because
he was so brokenhearted. And then Probst calls her out, she's like, I just wish that I would have played my own game and been more independent woman that I am. And he's like,
well, the weird thing was he called her out, but Probst knows the story behind the Figgy.
Everybody knows. The story.
Everybody knows. So it's why would he even bring that up? I mean,
yeah.
Well, I know why, because he's Probst.
I thought Hannah was gonna start sucking on Ken's ear.
I thought she was hilarious. I love how she was just leaning into him and saying, "You know what?"
She's like,
"Ken, have you seen anybody?" It's complicated.
Can I answer you later on tonight? After?
Well, apparently Ken has a girlfriend. I was told she was in the audience.
Oh,
yeah.
So now
why
it's
is
really
that complicated? Why can't you just say her?
All right, back to Bobby's. By the way, Mike, I tried what you said, so let me know if it helped. I'm a bit unsatisfied with the outcome of this season, but the season as a whole was really good and is not going to affect my overall enjoyment of the season. See you guys in a few months. Happy holidays, Bobby S.
So is that an old school fan not happy because
I don't know.
The old school didn't win?
I mean, there are some people in the group, in our Facebook group, very small percentage of those who are commenting that did not enjoy the season. I thoroughly enjoyed
the outcome. He said the outcome. He liked the season, but it was the outcome. He didn't. I thought the outcome was great. I loved it.
It was good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay.
I would prefer David, but
wow, David. So the next feedback David gave himself. David's in charge of feedback. It's the most important thing we do on this podcast, and so that's why David's in charge of it. And he gave himself a 4-line feedback. Go ahead, David. I know this is going to be very hard on you.
This is from James Jones. 2 things, and I made it a 3-line there.
Yeah.
Number 1, I would like to see a season of all first voted out survivors game. I don't think you'll ever see that because some people were. I don't think you'll see Rachel ever come back and play again. Sorry. 2, less idols. Lets people that get voted out. We love the drama they cause, but let them play the game. I understand the less idols thing.
What's funny, because if you say that, like, you think of this season, there were 5 idols played, but only once was it actually impactful on what happened. So I mean, I don't think I think they should just, like, whatever's there at the merge, let those play out, but then maybe not rehide them after the merge. But
well, they want them in the game. But you're right. Only one of them had an effect. It did cause a little scrambling at camp, which made it interesting. And it did give David the chance to play the fake one or to put the fake one out there. But, yeah, only one of them really had a true effect on the game, save it Jessica.
Yeah. I'd like to have Jessica on. We definitely need to have Jessica on. I want to have Hannah on. Okay, we got to be quiet. Or I do. But, gosh, I can't wait to have some people on. All right. Hope they'll come on. I don't know, David.
Don't scare them away.
Wow, this is like an 800-word feedback David gave me. David Holdsworth. Oh, I forgot to do the... Thank you. David Holdsworth, good morning from beautiful New Jersey. It was a tough week for me. My alma mater, Navy, had its winning streak over Army. In the Army-Navy football game, ended at 14. Oh, well, they'll have to start a new streak next season. But on to the Survivor finale. Only a few quick comments this week on an extremely satisfying and entertaining... Dwaine, you are borderline adult content here? What the heck are you talking about? Okay. Y'all figure that out for me in the chat room. But on to the Survivor finale. Only a few quick comments this week on an extremely satisfying and entertaining season. First, a question for you, D&D. In the immunity challenge where the contestants had to hold the puzzle pieces between the paddles while walking, do you think they could have done it vertically instead of horizontally? No, I don't think they would have allowed them to do that. You?
Wait, what?
No, that would have been neat, but no, that was. I'm sure he's saying, could they have held the paddles like this with the top with the puzzle pieces in between? I'm thinking no. He probably told them they have to carry it like this.
Yeah. And did you notice that it was a weird handle too? It was like wobbly. Did you notice that?
Was it had like a spring on it? Did it have a spring?
Yeah.
I noticed that.
All right. Also, I need to move this over so I can see Ryan's face because there it is.
So beautiful.
Yeah, that's not why. No. That would have made it much easier. Maybe that's a challenge hack that can be used in the future season of Survivor or the DWSC. I was extremely happy for Adam, my Survivor pool pick to win it all. Oh, way to go. He came ready to play and played hard from day one. Even though not all of his moves were phenomenal, for example, why tell anyone about the idol you found at the final 5? It allowed scrambling to keep your rival David in the game. He was a deserving winner on many fronts, and I was pleased that the jury recognized and rewarded this play. By the way, did y'all scream at the TV like I did when he told that he had the idol?
Well, I was happy because it meant that David was probably staying, so I was screaming, but screaming of joy.
I was a little, but at the end of it, I was like, that's just more power to Hannah. That's Hannah's game that she's got him telling her this. Yeah. He thinks he's got her. And meanwhile, then I screamed when Hannah went to David. and as much as I like David, I like when they target the big players,
Yeah.
So.
All right. Dave continues. Admittedly, I am curious what the final vote split would have been if Adam's story about his mom had not surfaced at the final tribal. No, we've already talked about that, and we think it still would have been around. Right. I suspect that Jay told the jury about his mom's condition at Ponderosa. We have also confirmed that that did not happen. So
we did.
Yeah,
in the Ponderosa video.
I thought in our chat room they said that Jay said in interviews that he kept his word and did not share it.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
David's knowing look after Adam's heartfelt response to his questions seemed to be a giveaway that Adam's story was not a surprise to him. Well, maybe so. Plus, I doubt production would have allowed Adam's story to go unmentioned at Final Tribal. It just made for too compelling an arc. Thanks for a great season of podcasts, D&D and community. This was my first season listening and participating, and it improved my Survivor experience greatly. Awesome. That makes me very happy. Makes David and I very happy. Before this season, I'd watch and enjoy the show in a bit of a bubble. Although my family tolerated my love of the show, no one I know was nearly as into the show as I was. So thanks to everyone for being my newly found extended Survivor family. If any of you are ever in Northern Jersey, the door is always open. Dave Holdsworth. Yeah,
well, that could be a good. That could be a good stopping point for my this year.
I don't know. You know, really, when we go on vacations now, why do we even stay in hotels?
Exactly.
We have fans all over the United States, even across the
well, as a Survivor fan, you just sleep in dirt wherever you go. That's the way to go.
No, you stay in someone's house.
No, that's homeless.
I'm
not traveling as a homeless.
All right, it's time for one of our favorites. She's always in the chat room. Mir I Am.
Hi, Dwaine and David. This is Mir I Am, also known as Vader Girl, calling from Bremerton, Washington. I remembered this time. A little bit hungover, very emotionally, just wow. I mean, what an amazing, amazing finale, reunion. I just going through all these emotions. Thank God for Adam Klein. Thank God for Susie. Hashtag live like Susie. I'm so happy that he won. I don't know if I could have even handled it if he did not win, knowing that his mother passed. Bless his heart. I've just been crying and crying and crying. I'm just so thankful. His journey has really got me to cry, which I have a hard time doing after my mom passed away. I don't really feel emotions, and I had a hard time grieving. I'm still grieving, and I just can't thank him enough for sharing his journey with people like me, because it just really helps. I got to thank you guys for your support and your fellowship and your Facebook group and all of that. And I don't know the caps on my patrons, so I might have to just do a one-time donation, because I don't know, I can't budget my money. I don't know what else to say. Sorry to be rambling. Hannah and Ken, I think they would make a beautiful couple. I do love Jay. I'm really upset about David Wright. I was wrong about that one. I really saw him for the win, but I think we all did. But like I said, I mean, I love being wrong at this point, because I mean, as much as I love David and I wanted to be right, David Wright, that is, and I wanted him to win, I don't think I would have been able to handle it emotionally if Adam did not win, knowing his story. So I'm just so thankful for God. God is good. Sending you guys so much love to Adam, so much love to everybody. Blessings. May the force be with you. Black cats and kill for life. Like I said, drink lots of water. Avoid saccharin, which is in soda, and don't drink soda. If you can, switch it to iced tea. And like I said, lots of water. And send you guys lots of love. May the force be with you again. Bye.
And that is your daily health tip from Mir I Am. How am I not supposed to drink? How am I supposed to drink diet drinks or Monster Zero without getting whatever it is she said? I'm going to have that. Sorry.
All right. It's a recommendation.
That's right. Mir I Am, thank you so much. I know you badly want to be a patron and it's not working out. You don't have to. There is a support link on the top of the website, top right. Click it. Do a one-time PayPal donation if you want, but you don't have to. just shop Amazon if you want. That'd be great. So, all right. Anything else, guys, on that one? No. Okay.
Yeah.
Brian Fleming.
I quickly went through our Facebook page, the live feed where people watch live and chat. And I was waiting for that moment because she was praising David and trying to be WRIGHT all the time, right? And all of a sudden, boom, it hit.
Yeah.
It was, wow.
Yep.
That's how it was for us too. All right. So Brian Fleming from Canada.
Hey.
So my preseason winner pick actually won. In the words of Taylor, unlikely. His path to victory was improbable, but once the most deserving of the remaining players were sent packing, Jay and Dave, it was only a matter of whether he would get all 10 votes or not. Ken's perceived loyalty and integrity took a major hit when he turned on Dave, but Ken was DOA long before that move. The scene where Ken avoids Adam and Hannah chatting on the beach showed how little respect he had for millennials. The youngest Gen Xer of the season is indeed a very old soul. And that's funny because I thought Ken would be the one that would flip to the millennials because of his age. I thought he would relate with them most, not knowing anything about Ken. Ken wouldn't and couldn't connect with jurors. Hannah at least seemed to be playing the game towards the end, but she just seemed to annoy those who had a hand in voting out. She really did seem to be aiming for the goat seat at the final tribal. Good on Adam for an easy win. He was largely not held responsible for the bulk of the jury members being voted out, and he was always seen not as the biggest threat in the game. Jay was his meat shield, and Dave was his brain shield. As never more than the perceived second or third biggest threat, his name rarely came up, and idols were his ally here when he did. It has come up before that maybe 10-person juries aren't a good thing. After Jeremy's 10-vote clean sweep, it seems possible that large juries who spend a lot of time together may suffer from groupthink. The second Adam landed in the final three, it reminded me of Jeremy's final three at Second Chances. Both Jeremy and Adam had a compelling personal narrative that I think would have swayed the jury even if the competition was stronger. I remember that one of the jurors, Sierra or Kelly Wentworth, who voted Jeremy, had planned to vote Spencer, but Jeremy's narrative about Val's pregnancy was so compelling she was moved to vote Jeremy. Were there any votes against Adam with that jury before his heartbreaking explanation of why the game was so important to him? Likely not, but Adam wasn't a beloved player. What would have been interesting is if the final three contained Jay or Dave and Adam. What would have happened? I am convinced Dave played the best game. His fake idol that Jay found was genius. Jay had so many friends on the jury and is an awesome young man with a compelling underdog story as well. Would someone mildly leaning towards Jay or Dave be swayed to switch to Adam? No, I don't think so. I think it still would have been the same. They would still have voted for the one. Strong season, a stunning location. The concept turned out to be brilliant most of the time anyway. The Survivor editors kept us guessing, and any season with such strong character development and explosive strategy is a winner. I think top 10 all time for me. Where does this rank for you, Ryan?
I actually made a list today, not like a list, but I basically went through like every season and basically just asked like to start with like Borneo. Is it better than Borneo? No. Is it better than Australia? No. And kind of like went on from there. I ended up with number 16 actually. So kind of like, above average, but just a little bit.
It's so hard to be better than those first seasons. Those first seasons were just, I think there's a lot of good seasons in 1 through 10, in my opinion. There's some good ones in there.
Yeah.
It's tough. An odd little observation, though. I love and miss the opening intro of Survivor players that used to start every episode, so I made sure I watched the official CBS Survivor intro a few times online. In all the hours of airtime over a season, I think that in the first episode, they could take 75 seconds to honor the players with an intro. Just once a season. I'm not greedy. Anyway, there's a 1 in 400 chance, 20 times 20, that the player whose picture was shown first wins the season, and the picture shown last in position 20 was the first person voted out. Adam is in position 1, and Rachel is in position 20. Likely a coincidence, but statistically improbable. Love the podcast last week. Hard not to love Dan Foley. I hope you both enjoyed the season as much as the fans. Top-notch work this fall. Brian Fleming, Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why my applause didn't play.
That's like
Sorry.
a platform. Like, wow, come on, Dwaine.
Well, I tried.
Eh? Wow, he sent it all the way down. There you go.
Well, I didn't realize I had Wi-Fi on my iPad. So when my son called me, my iPad rang. So that's why you heard.
Unprofessional.
And I wrote, he texted me, he said, I saw Rogue One. And I said, I'm podcasting. And he said, but it's Rogue One. I said, well, too bad.
The Survivor, then Star Wars for you, Dwaine.
Well, when I'm podcasting, it's not. I don't really know.
No, I don't know.
All right, Gwen Stevens. Hi, D&D. It's Gwen from Santa Barbara. David, listen up. You know, that joke just doesn't get old to me at all. I love it.
What joke?
Oh, you butthead. All right. Wow, that was a great finale. I was bawling like a baby when Adam shared his story during the final tribal and at the reunion. As I tweeted, it takes a real man to show such raw emotions. It's one of those incredible stories of unconditional love. His mom waited until he came back and told her he won before she passed. She must have been so proud. And now, as Probst would say, an awkward transition. Overall, I really enjoyed this season. I think there were a lot of great characters, and I am sure that we will see many of them return. Time will tell, but I think that people might underrate this season for a few years. I have been rewatching over the past week, and it really holds up. Thanks for all you do, D&D, and I am proud to call myself a patron of your fantastic podcast. Thanks, Gwen. Thank you, Gwen. So
I agree that there are a lot of great characters.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of people I'd like to see play again. That's how I grade players, is do I want to spend another season watching them play? Like, there are people I do not want to watch play a fourth time, but there are people I would love to watch play a second time.
Yeah. If you also want to be a D&D patron, stwdd.com/Patreon, or go to that big Patreon thing on the website. Thank you, Gwen. So my son texted me again. Are you sure you don't want to talk about Star Wars?
You didn't want to talk about it on the podcast, so no.
Yes, we can talk about it on the podcast, David.
Well, I won't see it till Saturday, so we'll talk about it next time.
You should do a Rogue One podcast.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you.
Really? A whole podcast show just on Rogue One? A whole show? No, maybe an episode.
Because I know that you probably wouldn't say enough.
That's why we have Movie Talk with D&D. So,
okay.
All right, here we go. Wait, why is everybody in the chat room saying it's not out yet if my son's already seen it?
He's probably seeing an early show tonight.
Well, didn't it come out? Wasn't like the last night the premiere?
Either that or he saw some illegal version of it.
It's a pirate.
That's probably
all right. David, go ahead and read Amber Schwalks.
Okay, Amber Schwalk from Rigid State of Wisconsin. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet. In my opinion, the chance for a smart game player to win this season went out the window when Jay got voted out. And I only say that because I wasn't a fan of David's game until he made a fake idol that sent Jay home. Oh, the irony. Great move, and I can't believe that's never been done before. Actually, it has been done before. On our Facebook group, I posted a link to one of Survivor Oz's top 10 fake idol plays. So there's a couple of them out there. So I'll cut to the chase here. Final three. Hannah, I loved her quirkiness, but I don't think her final tribal helped her one bit. She seemed to come across as whiny and desperate to prove that she was a part of every vote. It didn't work for me. Ken, his one and only strategic gameplay move was voting out David. Was it a big, smart move? Absolutely, but not enough, in my opinion, to win over the jury. He only had one strong relationship, and that was with David. Yeah, he didn't even get David's vote. So, and then Adam, after Jay got voted out, he was my pick, so I'm probably biased. I don't think you have to be on the right side of every vote to be worthy of a win. I think Adam played hard and sometimes too hard, and definitely had some hiccups with knowing when to back off a little bit. But I think he learned as he went along and was, more importantly, more deserving of the win than the two people he was sitting next to. Yeah, I think even when Adam got the wrong vote with Brett, it was because he was trying to take out the bigger threat in David. So I think they actually give him credit for that. One thing that has been driving me absolutely crazy, and the main reason for writing feedback this week, is because of people shaming Adam for using his story for so-called sympathy votes.
Oh, is that really happening? I didn't see that. Is it happening a lot?
I've seen it in a couple of comments, even in our Facebook group. So I don't think he used it as an advantage to win. This is a young man whose mom is dying and has not confided in anyone other than Jay.
Yeah, in fact, I'm sorry. In fact, we even talked about this earlier. I mean, if you want to, then you better be upset with Jeremy, because his whole strategy was wait until final tribal and then tell the story. And as we said, Jay gave him an opportunity and he didn't even do it. And it wasn't until the very end that he did it. So
was that Jeremy's strategy? I can't remember if that was actually a thing or not.
Yeah, he said.
Oh, okay.
He said, I can't let anybody know about this yet.
In fact, it was the last thing he said at Tribal Council. So that was the last thing they took.
Well, I remember that. I don't know if it was like intentional or not to like pander for votes, but if it was, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like Miriam says, trolls wanting to take away from him. I agree.
Yeah. Ask yourself, how long would you be able to keep that in? And it's not a story, it's his life.
Good point, Amber. Good point.
I'd be interested to get your thoughts on this, whether you think it was a strategic move on his part. I think he was getting those votes either way. One, I think he was getting the votes either way. I totally agree. Two, I think it came out. I don't know if he did it on purpose. I don't know if he said he has or not, but it was a true answer to the question of what the survivor meant to him.
I mean, probably on some level, after he said it, he probably realized like that probably helps my case versus hurting it. But I don't think it was at all said in order to do so.
Yeah, I don't think it was in the back of his head of, I got to get this out. But like Dwaine said, he could have done it with Jay, and he didn't. And then to hear that his mom passed away only an hour after getting home, I was heartbroken for him. But so glad that he got the chance to do this for her and his family.
Yeah, that is a man.
Yeah,
1 hour.
Yeah,
man. And didn't he say like 2 days before she was jogging around the block?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's just.
So lastly, it was a great season with a great group, and it was nice to see a bunch of people that respected the high level of gameplay needed for Survivor. Can't wait until March, and thank you guys for giving us something to look forward to after Wednesday. Amber Schwalk from Frigid State of Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, from Wisconsin. Where are you from? I'm from Wisconsin. That's right. Come on our show and I will talk about your accent.
What accent? Did you see an accent in the writing?
No, I used to date a girl from Wisconsin. I'd say, hey, you want to go there? She'd go, oh, can I go with?
It took me 5 minutes to convince you that Fargo was in the United States.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Didn't say you did, Amber. Just, sorry, Amber. Yeah, Amber's like, I don't have an accent. Y'all do.
Y'all do.
The next season, send it in with audio, and then we'll know.
Yeah. All right, here's Will the Giant Ninja. Now, why didn't you put down what he wrote at the beginning of his feedback?
I don't know.
I'll read it.
The adult content.
Unless you did it on purpose. Yes, David, seriously. I heard it. All right. Let's see what he wrote. I don't have it in front of me. He said, I don't remember what he said. Oh, well.
I got it. He said, I've submitted feedback every week but one. No buffs? Not one. Just saying. Come on, Siri. Pick a better random number.
Yeah. So now he's in the chat room like going, oh, that person's from Canada. Too bad they're not in the running. And he tried to convince us that Wisconsin was part of Canada so that Amber couldn't be in the running. So, Amber's like, I don't have an accent. I'm from Minnesota. All right. Anyway. Will the Giant Ninja. Here we go.
What's up, guys? It's Will from Wonder Lake again, a.k.a. the Giant Ninja. So last night was an absolutely fantastic 3 hours of Survivor, and I want to get right to it. So number one, dear David, at the Final Four, you made the wrong pitch to Ken. Now, don't get me wrong. I understood what you were doing and why you were doing it. You didn't want Ken to think you were paranoid. But you needed to think about it from Ken's perspective. What difference does it make if you're paranoid? Either he's loyal to you or he's not. You're not going to lose Ken's loyalty with a pitch. Ken knows who you are. He knows you're neurotic. If you play off of your neuroses and tell him, hey, I know I come across as totally confident, but I'm not that guy. I need to know you still love me. I need to know you're still with me. I need to know you're still my brother. That would have probably worked with Ken if you leaned on him and how much you were relying on him. I think that would have been a much better pitch. You got to think about things from other people's perspective. Number 2, dear Ken, I hate to say it, bud, but I think you made the wrong move by voting David out. Now, I think David would have smoked you in the jury, and I think you knew that as well. But you played the old school Survivor game, the loyalty game, all the way up to Final Four, but not through Final Four. You hoped that the jury would respect your loyalty when the very last thing you left them with was that you're not loyal. You can't have it both ways, dude. You have to either play cutthroat or play loyal. You can't play loyal up to the end and then decide you're going to become a cutthroat strategist. It doesn't work, and it didn't work. Number 3, dear Hannah, what you said to the jury at Final Tribal Council was 100% accurate. You were completely right in everything you were saying. So why didn't they take the information from you and change their opinions? The answer is your delivery, the way you presented the information. You presented the information as though it was obvious to everyone, and you were just shouting that 2 + 2 = 4. That's a problem, because they didn't see that 2 + 2 = 4 because they didn't see your game. So you needed to explain not that 2 + 2 was 4, but that this little group over here is in fact 2, even though it looks like it's 4 or 3. And this little group over here is 2, even though it only looks like it's 1. You had to change their paradigm, their mindset, to get them to hear your message. You needed to walk into that tribal council and say, I know what your opinion of me is, that I'm a flip-flopper that has no plan. But if you listen to me with an open mind, then by the end of this evening, you will understand that the 3 people that are sitting before you are here because I wanted them here. I controlled this game. I will tell you where and when. I will tell you how. And most importantly, I will tell you why I controlled this game. And had you started with that and explained clearly every decision that you made along the way, especially voting Sunday out when you did and voting Brett out when you did, they may have been on board. Number 4, dear Adam, congratulations, buddy. You played a fantastic game. You did exactly what you tried to do. You got every vote. You had a great final tribal council where you took a lot of credit for stuff that you didn't deserve credit for. And I got to give you kudos for that. And you made a profit out of me. You'll go home, buy my pen, and I will go to Final 3 with Ken. Awesome. Number 5, to the editors, I am glad that I was wrong. When David was voted out at 4, I was positive that Ken was going to win this season, because the edit of Ken for the entire season, or at least the first 3 quarters of the season, showed Ken with a winner edit, showing us things of Ken that we didn't need to see and that weren't relevant unless he won the game. Thank you for throwing us off the scent. I appreciate it. And with that, I am done. I will see everybody next season when I can't wait to get into this again. Later, peeps. Will at the Giant Ninja.
Thank you, Will. Always good to hear Will.
That speaks of authority. Holy cow.
Oh, he's a lawyer too.
Yeah.
A lawyer and a giant ninja.
Yeah. So if you make an objection he doesn't like, he just karate chops you. Or ninja chops.
First he cuts the desk in front of you if you're sitting in the witness stand. He cuts the wall.
He ninja chops you. So is this the one you added, David? All right, last one is Lori from Venice, Florida. Hi, guys. Great finale for a great season. Glad Adam won. I bet there wasn't a dry eye at the live viewing. Well, let's ask Mike. Hey, Mike K. Was there a dry eye at the finale? We'll find out when he answers us. He did have a good strategy. He seemed to know who to target and when. He had the right people next to him in the end, always an important part of the game. Hannah was more well-spoken than I would have expected, but Ken was not. Still pretty to look at, though. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Mike says he was sobbing. That's not what I asked you, Mike. I asked you.
You couldn't tell because he was sobbing.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes. I thought they were cute together at the reunion show. Jeff spent little time on Figgy and Taylor. I think anyone interested already knew their story. It will be a long winter till next season. Lori Proleski from Venice, Florida. Thank you.
Well, it was one of those things where it was a hot topic for a while. You got to kind of call back out the hot topic. And after that, Lucy, is there anything else you want to say? No? Okay, so we'll go from there.
Yeah. So you know what's crazy is a March, was it 17th?
I think so, yeah.
What the heck? I mean, that is quick.
Are you sure it's not the 8th?
I mean, that is a long way away. I mean, well, I'm not sure of anything. That's why I'm asking. I just know it's mid-March.
I thought it was March 8th.
Yeah, mid-March.
It feels like it's longer than normal. Doesn't it normally start in like February?
Yeah, I guess there's some show called
It's March 8th, by the way. Oh.
On the Run or something that's airing Wednesday. They want
to
like that, I guess.
Well, that just gives us more time to talk about it beforehand.
Yeah, it is March 8th.
Well, I wonder if they'll like delay, because they usually do like the cast reveal like mid-January. I wonder if that'll be pushed back.
Surely not.
I hope not.
Why would they not reveal the entire cast? Why not just go ahead and show the entire cast?
That's a stupid thing, but you know.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird myself. So
I think they're kind of acknowledging the fact that it's already out there. And most people know pretty much who the cast is.
Yeah.
You're a real fan, you know.
Yeah. Y'all, it is time to give away a buff from Buff USA. They have been very generous this season and allowed us to give away a buff. We were hoping that we would get a lot. Thank you. Ryan showed his buff. Show it again, Ryan.
I didn't win it, but
well, still, at least you bought one. Well, I wish more people had bought one. Because unfortunately, next season we don't get to give away buffs because we didn't get enough clicks. You know, we didn't drive enough people. We didn't drive enough people to their website. So sorry.
So read me the names real quick of the feedback.
What? Read you the names. All right. Yeah. Let's see. I don't have that. Just a second. All right. You have Lori Proleski from Florida. Will the Giant Ninja.
Yep.
You have Amber Schwach from Wisconsin, which is in the United States.
Technically.
You have Gwen from Santa Barbara, which is also. Then we can't do Brian because he's in Canada. Then you have Mirai Am. Then you have Dave Holdsworth from Jersey. James Jones, did he say where he was from?
No.
Okay, so we're not.
We're going to presume he's from the U.S.
All right, well. And then Bobby S. We don't know where he's from either.
All right, the list is ready. I've got 8 names for you to give me a random name.
All right. All right, here we go.
That was a drum roll.
Give me a number between 1 and 8.
The answer is 8.
It's 8. Who's 8?
8 is not Will the Giant Ninja. And this is not an immunity idol, so Jay's votes will count.
And Miriam says she passes, so if she wins, it doesn't matter.
8 is actually Dave Holdsworth.
Dave Holdsworth.
Who actually passed his
that's right
next winning buff on to Andy Westover.
Oh,
did Andy win one week?
I don't remember. Oh well, Andy Westover then.
Yeah, because I remember when.
Well, no, Dave Holdsworth won it. Whatever Dave wants to do with it is his business. But
yeah,
sorry, Will the Giant Ninja. Yeah. You're just going to have to just suffer through those 28 Survivor Talk shirts you have, and the amazing and you did win the signed mug. I saw it on our Facebook group with hot chocolate in it.
I even wrote on the bottom too.
Oh, did you really? What did you write on the bottom?
I put hashtag Cubs win.
Oh, on the bottom. Nice. Did you see what? Did you get the 2 mugs I sent you that were sent into the winner of the 21K thing?
Not yet.
Oh wow.
It's probably a busy time of year for the package people.
Well, maybe, so but I did send it U.S. priority. Hello. So,
Sunday, you're crazy.
Right, Ryan sold me on that yellow mug. I love his yellow mug. I'm gonna have to get me one.
Well, I showed the one that I got to sign for Will, and Terry's like, "Why don't we have those mugs?" Because it's got my face on it. Why do you want a mug with my face on it?
That's right.
I just put duct tape over mine.
Yeah.
It helps you keep the coffee down, sir.
Yeah. So thank you, Buff USA. Y'all go to buffusa.com/Survivor Talk 33. Use Survivor Talk 33 and get 10% off anything you buy, including those amazing gloves that I got from Buff USA. So, all right. It's time for
You Write Them. We Read Them. iTunes Reviews.
iTunes Reviews.
There we go.
We do have a new review. Amazing. Oh, where is it? Oh, there it is. It's by.
I thought that was the review. Just amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's by. Oh, I skipped the Survivor Challenge thing. Sorry about that, David. We'll go back to it. It's by Time for Fun. Gave us a 5-star rating. Thank you. And wrote fun stuff. And he wrote, I found this podcast by accident. Well, I was born on accident. So sometimes good things are done by accident.
I don't think you were born on accident. I think
I was conceived on accident.
There you go.
Sometimes the best things in life are on accident. And me and our podcast are 2 examples.
Well, the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Ryan.
Yep.
You don't have to come back on, While looking for something to listen to at work. I love the show Survivor, and Dwaine and David really are entertaining and make the time go by super fast. I also joined their Facebook group, which has a lot to offer. Check it out. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Time for Fun. So Mike likes Connie's artwork on my chalkboard. Yes, my wife does a great job with that. So, all right, David, let's talk about the Survivor D&D Challenge. Or is it out yet?
It's not out yet.
Oh, well, then let's not. Well, let's tell everybody the news about the fun office pools.
Oh, I thought we were going to wait till next season.
Oh, okay. So we're not going to tell you any news on fun office pools. Well, then we don't have anything else to do except say goodbye, everybody. But before we do that, a quick thanks to all of you for being a part of the D&D family this season and for listening to our shows. Visit our website again for all that stuff I mentioned, stwdd.com. Now, look, we're going to be doing movie talk with D&D episodes over these next couple months. And so there you go.
For Rogue One, we recap.
Well, yes, we're going to do a Rogue One. In fact, Nathan goes, call me. It's like, son, I haven't even seen the movie, but okay. He almost stayed and watched it again, is what he just texted me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Because that means it's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amber wrote in the live chat, I refuse to believe this season is over. Ooh, maybe it's not over then.
Maybe they're still counting votes.
Kind of is.
Actually, we're gonna they're appealing to the Electoral College to redo the votes so that Hannah wins.
And actually, we may have 1 or 2 post-season podcasts with guests. So
yes.
We'll see about that.
So that part of the season does not have to end. All right. Final thoughts. David, do you have any final thoughts?
I love the season. Thought it was a great season. Thought it was a good winner. I'd actually been okay if Hannah got votes as well. but to win. But I just thought it was a really good season. Like I said, I judge seasons by who I want to see again, and there are a lot of people I'd like to see play again from this season.
Yeah. How about you, Ryan? Any final
thoughts?
I
agree with that. There's definitely probably good half a dozen, maybe even more people I'd like to see back. I'm still kind of a little bit of a bitter David fan. I think I wish he would have won. I'm really happy for Adam, but I was still rooting for David.
Right.
But yeah, overall good season. Definitely, a lot of memorable moments.
I also agree. It was a great season. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I think the only thing it was really missing was someone to root against. I don't really know that we had anybody that everybody was rooting against, and we kind of seem to have that.
I gotta have at least one good villain in there.
Yeah. So.
I was kind of rooting against those that were on top. When people get in such a power position that they run the game, I kind of like to see them get knocked off their perch, no matter who they were. I had a lot of people I was pulling for this season, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked Zeke, I liked David, I liked Adam, I liked Jay, but I didn't mind seeing them get knocked off their perch because that's what you should be doing in the game. You need to take out the power players.
Right.
So I like that.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the show. Enjoy your week, and look for our upcoming episodes.
I'm a survivor. Devil's a liar. I'm living for the king, and my soul is on fire. So if you feel me, put your hand in the air. Put your hand in the air. Put your hand in the air.
And those of you who are hanging around on the YouTube video, here's some links to 2 videos. Our 3-hour interview with Tony Vlachos. Thought you might want to hear that. Also, be sure to go listen to our Spy Shack song. It's pretty cool. In fact, I'll play it after this.
Is there a llama translation for that interview, Dwayne?
Yeah, there's a llama translation for that. Also, my original song, Rise, you can listen to that. It's a good song. So also clicks to our website, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and of course, become a D&D patron. If you want to hear the Spy Shack song, I will put it at the end of the audio podcast, and also I'll put a link under
Play
here.
us out.
Bye, everybody.